Wow, good morning, everybody. Wow, it's so great to see all you guys. It's Tuesday. I think. Actually, let me check the outside camera. Okay, outside bad boy's working. Let me see if I can get more garbage in the end frame. There we go. Now that's what we like to see. That's what we like to see, a full trash man cam. Now, might have to switch over to OBS 2, says Titanium. I might have to also. If my today we're doing Trash Tuesday. The first garbage truck usually backs up less because basically the way the it's set up is the first garbage truck picks up these little bins that are closest to my apartment, and the second garbage truck picks up the bins that are closer to my neighbor's apartment across the street. And since the second garbage truck has to literally face those garbage cans to get them, those big dumpsters, it has to back up more times. So for that reason, the second one is always going to back up more often. For those of you that have participated in Trash Tuesday, you're very familiar with this. For anybody that hasn't, just know the first one is a lower number than the second one for a reason. It's definitely not random. Holy crap, is Reagan here? Or is somebody just talking about Reg? I'm gonna summon him. Word. Okay. But in the meantime, we're gonna be working on the second half of Viv's theme. And if I seem a little bit distracted, I'm wearing on Tuesdays. I've decided Tuesdays in honor of trash, I wear suspenders, but these suspenders are like, the buckle for them is kind of broken, so I have to pull the buckle up really high, or else my suspenders will go all like loosey-goosey. But it, sorry, but it makes it so that my shorts are really high. Guys, for like, oh no, I can't do it. I don't want you guys to see my legs. I'm wearing shorts, but my belly button is like right here. This is not how high I wear my shorts. And it is distracting, to say the least. Ooh, that aya came out really clear. I have, once again, sustain pedal problems. It's being very finicky today. I think here's what I'll say about sustain pedals. So for the keyboard players in the house that use, it's not M Audio, it's Proline that makes this sustain pedal. I remember getting them when I was a bit younger, and I feel like they used to last longer. And now, guys, the sustain pedals are made so cheaply. Like when you open them, just the level of circuitry. It's weird because the pedal itself is like a solid build, and even the box that the pedal is in is a pretty solid build. But the circuitry inside is just garbage. It's horrible, and I hate it. However, on a positive note, I don't know if the... Oh. Everything's fine. Anyways. He's so small. The dog is so small. I hate it. Anyways. The circuitry on the inside is just garbage. It's like trash in there. It's like made out of Chex Mix, but then the outside is actually quality. I hate it. I hate the way That's weird. I hate the way sustain pedals are built nowadays. It's the worst. I guess they're not very sustainable, huh? I appreciate the pun, Dar, and no, they're not at all. They're not durable. And like for right now, like I'm holding down my sustain pedal right now, and we'll see if it sustains notes. Okay, so it worked that time. But it's kind of, I'm on this like 50-50. See, I'm holding it down right now. I seem to have to like push down and slightly to the left, and it won't work. But if I push down and slightly to the right, it works. So maybe if I angle my sustain pedal so that I'm always pushing a little bit to the right, I think I just kind of like fixed it. Hey, what's up, Mini Moon? Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Was that a Doxy? It's like a... No, it's like a Pomeranian mix. If you're talking about the dog that was barking earlier. Morning, everyone. Good morning, kid. I hope you're doing well. Throwing all my tokens in on these beeps. You could win big. These shorts are too high. Too dang high. Welcome. How are you? Way Pon says, Cyber. Why though, Cyber? Was I doing Kiari Pamu chords? I do like that. That reminds me of something, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. Viv's theme, because was Viv redeemed? Thank you, by the way. I didn't see it. I don't know what I was doing, but I didn't see it. Was it really? You're not lying to me, are you? Because if you were, I wouldn't know. Thank you, Mini Moon, for the resub. I also didn't see that. Why am I not seeing things? Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna be more attentive going forward. Sounds like grabbing a snack with some friends. Yo, can I talk about Flaming Ghosts for 2 seconds? Just because we talked about him in a previous stream, and I had the story about like his whole thing, his whole like personality, and the way he deals with situations. He had an Instagram live because his album just came out. Please go listen to the Flaming Ghosts album, by the way. It's great. But his album just came out, and he did like an Instagram live to like talk to people about the album. And it was great. And I want to kind of, like, piggyback, or rather rebound off of what could have been a story about Flaming Ghosts to, like, you know what's funny? And I'm guilty of this, too. Do you guys ever get in, like, amusement looking at somebody read comments and know they're skipping one? Like, looking at, like... I probably actually do it a lot, but like you've said something in the chat and you can see from like someone reading through the comments, you're like, oh, they're getting close to the comment. They're getting close to maybe my comment or somebody else's. And then you can see their eyes like reading it, and you can see their brain going like, I'm not going to reply to this one. And then they read the one below it and then read that one out loud. That definitely happened in that stream a couple of times. It was very funny. It was very funny. Oh, hey, what's up, Ika? Yes, with soups all the time, says Ika. Yeah, right? It's funny. And I apologize, by the way, if I've ever done that to any of you guys. I don't do it on purpose. And good morning, Ika. And welcome. The face I make when I'm like, nah, not answering that is so stank. See, I try not to betray that when I'm reading over something that I'm not going to reply to. You skip me all the time, says Advanced Gorilla. If I'm being honest, Advanced Gorilla, I almost skipped that comment, not on purpose. The chat bumped it almost out of sight. Hey, what's up, Tina? Tina subs. What did I do, Tina? How did I earn that one? I didn't even do anything yet. I've been playing the same chord progression for like the entire stream, basically. But I do need to play Viv's theme. So give me 1 second. I feel like you do it to me often, says Dar. This is the game we play. Dar, the reason I do it to you is because you... Oh, crap. The garbage truck. Driving down the street. Garbage truck. How many times is it gonna be? How many times do you think it's gonna be today, y'all? Here comes the garbage truck. Driving down the street. Here comes the garbage truck. How many times is it gonna be? How many times? It's the garbage truck. Driving down the street. How many times y'all think the garbage truck's gonna beep today, y'all? Garbage truck. How many times is it gonna be? Only a little bit of time left to get those bets in, y'all. A little bit of time. Garbage truck. Driving down the street. Don't be too shy. Put up them tokens. The garbage truck. How many times is it gonna be? Let's see how many times this truck's gonna be. It's the garbage truck. Okay, hold on. So there's an issue. Oh my god, whoa, why does it say 110 times still? Like from freaking last thing. I gotta hold on, let me reset that. I forgot that There we go. So there's a problem already. There's a car in the cul-de-sac. And unless this car moves, it's going to rack up beeps like wild. So hopefully both of these... Okay, it looks like the car is going to be moving. It looks like the car is going to move. Yeah. Okay. We're good. I was about to say, that's going to rack up beeps like crazy if he has to reverse around this car. I feel like the numbers should be low today. As long as nothing happens. I should be getting my water while this is happening. I forgot to get my like freaking mug again. This is like the second day in a row. I'm not gonna say what I thought. I'm sorry, Mini Moon. I am really sorry. I thought that it was gonna be pretty low too. I will say... Oh, thanks for the follow, J Coke Beats. And welcome to the show. Apologies for this specific segment. It's not very musical, but I will be getting back to music right now. First, I think that he backed up a little too much on the last one. He didn't actually need that much clearance. He was being a little liberal with the beeps. But I hope everybody is satisfied with their wins or even their losses. Hopefully he didn't lose too much. It was close, says Mini Moon. I think he could have made it. Yeah, he could have made it in under 15 beats. Absolutely. The weird thing is, that's the gamble of it. We don't know what's going on in the garbage man's head. I think without obstructions, they could always make it in less, but I don't know. There were 3 beeps too many, says Ika. You can't give your predictions, you know the power of your words, specifically, says Dar. Alright, well, back to the medley. Thank you. Who was that? Liana. Liana has so much money. Liana always can afford Booba. Thank you. This is Booba's theme song. J. Coke. I assume you make beats from your username. What kind of beats do you make? I never finished Viv's theme. I sure didn't. I'll go back to it. Did Fear's theme feel a little delayed to anybody else? Anyways, whatever. Hey, what's up, WTFMXKE? You know, Booba's theme will always have like a soft spot for me because it was the first of the plant themes. But before Booba, we did have Viv that was redeemed. Here's Viv's theme. Booba, thank you, WTF Mike, for the stretch redeem. I am feeling it. And hello, Slama, by the way. After that, we had Mini Moon redeem Firo. Firo needs to be watered soon, but Firo is already outgrowing their stick, their support. Look, you can't see it. This is the newest leaf, but there's already a new leaf coming in on top of that one. So we'll see. We'll see, but here's Firo's theme. Firo's a mini monstera. And Firo is growing faster than any plant I own at the moment. I would say one of the slowest growing plants is actually Agnes. And we have a Zia redeem. I'm working really hard to catch up on these plant redeems, guys. And after that, we had Slama that redeemed Ellis. Ellis's theme goes like this. Come on, sustain pedal. Ellis is a fiddle-leaf fig tree, and I thought it was going to take it a lot longer than it currently has for it to recover. It was having a really rough go of it for a second there. It got too much sun, like I think 2 days in a row, and that was enough to make it shed all of its leaves. All but one. And somehow that one has been enough to Get a couple more leaves started. Word up. Catching up on chat just for a second. Omni, I did summon Reg just in the Discord and not like here. Well, tell them I says hi if they're in the Discord. WTF Mike, how are you, by the way? But if you hadn't answered that yet, here is your stretch that you redeemed, which is actually good today because I skipped yoga. These shorts are too high. Stretching hurts. I feel like my body's being compacted. I have to do that thing that, never mind. I have to do that thing. Viv's vibing now. Look at him go, says Mini Moon. Yeah, Viv went from being the smallest. You know, after Ellis had a rough time, Viv was thriving while Ellis was dying. And so now Viv's bigger than Ellis, and that was a plot twist I didn't see happening. Anytime. Firo's theme sparks joy, says Slama. Oh. Yeah, it's a fun theme. Very playful. There is still one more try. Prediction is live. Part 2. Yeah, you guys can still predict for the second garbage truck. And Lindsay has redeemed Zia. Zia is a staghorn fern, which I wish that I was taking pictures of every day because it's changing so drastically, so quickly. I love that. Hold on. I love this one. Like, so it has a bunch of different fronds. This guy that's like kind of curved like that. This guy. I love that one. Because these ones that grow way out, the way I hang it up, because its mount is over here on my wall, this frond is eventually going to get so long that I'm not going to be able to open my closet door without either moving Zia or just being careful not to close Zia in the door anytime I go in the closet. So that's something that I'm going to have to be aware of going forward. Zia's just getting way too big. Here's Zia's theme. Play the classic version of it. I'm not going to mess around with it today. Zia's theme, and Zia is hung up. Zia is here now. I should have asked something before betting, says Jaime. Oops. So Omni, why not just take off the suspenders? If I take off the suspenders, I'll have to take off the cardigan. If I take off the cardigan, I'm gonna have to pause the stream to derobe, and I don't feel like it. Titanium says, "Phew, I feel that. I need to get back on my yoga flow too." Yeah, you know, that's the thing that sucks, right? Having a good sleep schedule or having a good workout schedule or having a diet or having a good yoga practice, it's like you do it for a while and you start feeling good and then you break it for like 1 or 2 days and then here you are. A mess. A blob. A puddle of a person. Or get less tight ones, says Lindsay about the suspenders. I do have less tight ones. I explained, probably maybe before you joined, but the reason that it is because one of the buckles on the suspenders is broken. One of the buckles on the suspenders is broken, and I don't have a fixed buckle on the suspenders that are this pattern. Ika says, new prediction is dicey, so close last time. Did you lose the last one, Ika, for the big truck? I mean, we're not counting last week's bets, Ika, because last Tuesday was a nightmare. It was a disaster. Do the beats roll over from the previous truck, or is this a new beep counter? It's a new beep counter. I'll restart the count for sure. I love how squiggly the leaves are. Squiggly. Are you talking about Viv? Squiggly is interesting. Yeah, if you're talking about Viv, because that's the exact adjective I would use to describe Viv's leaves, then yeah, I kind of like it. Viv's weird. I don't know. There's a lot that I like and also am perplexed by when it comes to Viv and Viv's leaves. I need to start a yoga flow. I just be doing random stretches every morning. That's basically what yoga is. The plants do look crazy good this week. Yeah, everybody's having a good time except for Agnes. Agnes is a little thirsty, and I can't say Agnes is having a bad time, but Agnes is not as sprightly as she could be. Hey, what's up, Mustache Goblin? Good morning to you, and welcome to episode 387, I think. I'm pretty sure. The fit is a whole thing. You can't remove one part, says Mustache Goblin. Mustache Goblin, do you know me? Have we met or something? There's been a few times where somebody's come into a stream and said something. Remember when Joe Girl came in? And... No, remember when... Who was that came in? Oh, I can't remember. But you guys laughed at me. Somebody had come in and I was like, whoa, I feel like we'd get along. And she was like, it's me. And said her name. And I was like, oh, I do know you. It was like somebody that I'd been friends with for years. That I like literally hung out with like a few months prior to her coming into a Twitch. I just don't know people's Twitch usernames sometimes. Anyways, yeah, you're right. You can't remove one part of the fit. Or the fit unravels. It falls apart. Titanium, my question for you is there a word that you say or a phrase that you say that has long since fallen out of vogue? It's not a thing that's in style. People don't say it. It is not cool to say it anymore, but it's just something that you really held on to. You're like, I still think it's cool. I still think it hits. It still hits for me. It's the pattern. Yeah, Lindsay. It's like a checker pattern, and it goes well with the ginghams. The ginghams. I just don't want you to be uncomfortable the whole stream. Oh, it's okay. I've been uncomfortable for entire streams before. Ika says, I think I lost last time. The truck was quite a bit under. Yeah, the truck was a nightmare last time. So I'm not counting anybody who lost last week's bet. The trucks were a nightmare last week. Long Lost Bro, says Mustache Goblin. Possibly. Possibly. I feel like I have so many of those words, says Dar. So we haven't had Agnes yet, and we haven't had a Dapper Up yet, right? I'm just trying to be on top of my stuff. I'm trying to remain on top. Trying to remain on top. I think every morning, that perfect circle. Remember when the perfect circle didn't used to exist from that donut that dude did? Every morning, it becomes a little bit more faded, and I wonder if the Donut Man will come back and reestablish himself as perfect donut maker in the cul-de-sac. It's such a perfect circle. I don't actually know why there aren't several tire tracks. When you do a donut, I'm no car expert, but when you do a donut, isn't it supposed to make several skid marks and not just one solid skid mark and a perfect circle in the middle? Maybe they were on a motorcycle? Anyways, Titanium says, that's my whole lexicon. I say out of sight, which is completely lost on anybody who wasn't part of the 1970s. Yeah, out of sight. Out of sight's a good one. Out of sight's a freaking good one. I thought you were a Fast and Furious fan. I'm a big Fast and Furious fan. The funny thing about Fast and Furious, much like being into like 007, you can watch all of Fast and Furious and really not know anything about cars. Fast and Furious plays on like a very surface little video game knowledge of cars, like pressing the NOS button and stuff like that, or like, this is American Muscle, this is an import. But like, yeah, like I really, really like 007 films. I love James Bond, but I don't know anything about guns, really. Like, really? I don't know anything about guns. A 9-year-old who plays Call of Duty knows more about guns than I do. Tina says, I say skedaddle a lot to my cats. No one says that. Tina, I say skedaddle. In fact, when I say abo at the end of the streams, that's actually a weird permutation of the expression skedaddle. I do say that. That's very interesting. This is the 387th episode of the stream, and Cyber is reminding me to play the 387th sound on my keyboard, which is called Big Five. Who wants to take a guess at what this is going to sound like? I'm not going to hit the keys for a second. Big Five. The name of the sound is Big Five. Omni, can you play some R&B chords? I can play what I think may be R&B chords, and you can hear them and then tell me what you think, but I don't know what an R&B chord even means, but I'll play something that feels R&B-y to me. That's so true, though. 007 just makes you feel like you know everything about being an agent. Yeah, Titanium. Yes. I talk like a kid from the early 1900s, says Dar. No, you don't, Dar. I'm joking. I'm joking mostly. Big Five. What does Big Five sound like? What does Big Five sound like? I don't think any kid in the early 1900s used the term neurodivergent or like neuronormative. But I know exactly what you mean, Dar. I know exactly what you mean. And you're right. And you're absolutely right. I want to talk more with a transit. Okay, hold on. Transatlantic is actually going to come back later in the news. So consider that foreshadowing. Accidental foreshadowing, but foreshadowing nonetheless. R&B's made me think of when people used to say Beezy all the time, says Lindsay. When people say Beezy or Heezy, it always makes me think of Jamie Foxx. Hold Your Horses, that's a good one, Tina. Trumpets, says Liana. Liana says trumpets for Big Five. I'm going to play the sounds now. Play what you think R&B chords are, Omni, says Advanced Gorilla. Now that I like to hear. This is what Big Five sounds like. It sounds freaking horrible. Who had horrible? Whose guess was horrible? Anyways, for Rhodes piano, because when somebody says R&B, sadly, I always think Rhodes piano. There's this really weird, like, chasm, Advanced Gorilla, between there's this weird chasm between R&B, jazz, and like gospel chords where I feel like I'm in this weird amorphous space between the two. Does that sound R&B-y to you? Settings to search for UFOs, says Mini Moon. What? Honestly, this doesn't sound bad with you behind the keys, homie, says Titanium. Oh, that sound? Maybe it'll be a chord note like last time. I think that is what Big Five is. I think it might have a fifth on it, just like the sound did before it. So this is just me hitting one note. You can kind of hear it, right? It's not just one note. There's like two tones happening. Lindsay says, wait, do people not like Rhodes? I mean, people don't like anything, right? Like, there's a lot of sounds, and so there's always going to be somebody that's like, I don't really like that. But I think that Rhodes, I had this conversation with somebody about a year ago. Oh, actually, 2020 happened. About 2 years ago. We had a long conversation about Rhodes, and the attraction to Rhodes and why it is seen as this kind of like catch-all of like vibes when people are trying to like infuse like jazzy, soulful richness into something, they always kind of fall back to a Rhodes piano, and why sometimes it's seen as like a crutch. Like even okay chords can sometimes sound smooth with a Rhodes piano just because of like its texture, like the sonic texture of that sound. And so I don't know anybody personally that hates Rhodes piano, but I do know a lot of people that like when someone busts out the Rhodes are like, oh, okay, all right, that's fine. It's like when you're trying to make something sound sensual and people just immediately go to saxophone. And it's like there's a lot of other instruments that can achieve that and in nuanced ways that aren't just like, ooh, sexy sax on the beat. But yeah, Rhodes I like for a very weird reason. I like Rhodes because they're similar to a sine wave. And when I was moving from synthesizers into more like real instruments, that was one of the sounds that I was like, oh, this sounds like a sine wave. This sounds like a synthesizer to me. Play shock a lot with Big Five, says Cyber. It's not going to sound good. Take requests, says Crispy Pepsi. Crispy Pepsi? I would love to be able to eat Pepsi. Can we do that? We spend so much time turning solid foods into drinks, into beverages, bacon, soda, and all this stuff, but I would like to be able to chew on drinks. I would like to have, like 7-Up cake. I would like to have whatever the Crispy Pepsi equivalent of 7-Up cake is. But yeah, thank you, Cyber, for linking Crispy Pepsi to the requests. That is where you can request songs. And thank you, Kit, for the bits. Yeah, the fifth is really subtle, so it doesn't make things sound as bad as yesterday's sound. Yesterday's sound was this. Actually, hold on. No, sounds horrible. Everything sounds like out of tune or out of key, but with today's sound, Big Five. Hello, is it Dainty Sunflower? Thank you so much for following. Welcome to the stream. And thank you, Jaime, for 24 bits. I appreciate them. 24 bits, one for each hour of the day. I'll savor these bits. I'll set an alarm on my phone to chime me and remember. Isabel, thank you for the follow. Hello. Hello, Isabel. Yawning Kitten says, there are bottle-shaped gummies that taste like Coca-Cola at my local international grocery store, so there might be something like that out there. I know about the gummies you're talking about. I've never myself had them, but I know Haribo, the company Haribo makes like Coke gummies that are... Oh crap, never mind. False alarm. That's not the garbage truck. It's just the good old FedEx man. No, it's UPS today. It's such an iconic shade of brown, isn't it? Wow. It makes me think of when I was a kid and I used to order glow sticks online, and hearing the UPS truck pull up, I was like, my raver gear is here. Haribo says, says Liana. Haribo. Maybe I'm mispronouncing it. Haribo. Haribo? Hello, Poly to Music? I wanted to say Polytech. I was really going too fast on that one. Hello, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. Isabel says, you are so good at playing the keyboard. I also play, but my piano is painfully out of tune. Whoa, you have a real piano. You know, that's actually going to come back in the news too. If you stick around for the news, I'm actually going to talk about out-of-tune pianos in depth a little bit. But thank you for saying that I'm good at keyboard. I appreciate you saying that. I'm just doing my best out here. It still thoroughly tickles me to imagine Raver-era Omni. It was a thing. I mean, that's, you know... There's not really much to do in the desert. I don't know... Like, the desert's amazing, and it's really pretty, and yeah, blah, blah, cactus, blah, blah. People really like cactus. I had to talk to somebody at that party last Saturday who was like, I love cacti. Oh my god, you lived in Arizona. Like, oh, I love cacti. Just the second you think you've seen them all, you see another one. And he was saying all this stuff, and I was like, but I have seen them all, and they suck. I hate them. They're garbage. I hate cactus. I hate all of them. I don't want anything to do with them. I don't want anything to do with them. They're not even protecting... That's what's so funny, guys. They're not protecting anything but water. That's what they're protecting. Hey, what's up, Ginseng King? Ginseng King. I like that. It rolls off the tongue pretty well. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the show. They're protecting water. Like, imagine if you went to like an apple tree, something that, you know, you can really sink your teeth into, and it had a bunch of like thorns, and it was like, don't touch my fruit, man. Stay away from my fruit. The cactus is just hiding water. It's just hoarding water so that it can continue to live and look ugly. It's prolonging its own hideousness. And yeah, I know there's like a lot of other desert animals out there trying to get that water, but you know the funny thing? All of the desert animals have like evolved to a point to where they can get the water out anyway. So why all the thorns? What are you protecting? No, nobody wants to eat the cactus. Well, some animals actually do eat... And some animals eat the cactus. So it's like, it's not really doing its job, is it? The thorns. Not doing anything. Ugly, ugly plant. Provides no shade. Illegal to chop them down. Illegal to move them. Why all the thorns? Yeah, I don't understand, Mustache. I don't understand. Oh, see, so Tina, people would put cactus like on the grill in Arizona. I'm not saying that I hated it, but I'm saying that it felt more like we were eating something because there were just so many of them than because it was so delicious. Hey, what's up, Wex Streams? Wexcellent! I wish you got that reference. Have you ever played the game Wild 9? I can't play with the sound anymore. It's giving me a migraine. I love that chord progression, and I know it's so typical. I know it's in a lot of things, but it's just so pretty. Yeah, so there's a prediction live right now, as Cyber says, on how many times the garbage truck is supposed to beep today. Please feel free to participate in it. I am now going to play 4 songs back to back. The first of these songs is called Witchy, and I don't play it too often in the streams anymore. So I thought it would be a good idea to do it now. But yeah, if you want to participate in that prediction, please do soon before it expires. Because once the garbage truck actually shows up, it'll be too late. Yesterday in their stream was playing Castlevania. So, transparency alert, I've never actually played Castlevania, any of them, ever, in my entire life, and I didn't know there was 3D ones. Did they do well? Did people like those ones? Omni, no you didn't. Omni, no you didn't, says Mustache. No, I didn't. What? What didn't I do? Come on, the best. Castlevania, come on, the best, says Mustache. The best, come on, Castlevania. The 3D ones aren't great. The 2D ones are the superior ones, says Cyber, like by far. Got to get that wall meat, says. Is that a sick Castlevania joke? I don't know. I wouldn't know. So, here's how my gaming career went. I'm the youngest. Sorry, I'm the second to the youngest. I do have a younger sister, but I'm the second to the youngest and quite a few siblings. There's 10 of us. And so when I was like a kid, the video games that I was allowed to or slash had the availability to play were whatever my brothers were into. And in short order, my brothers were not nerds, you know. Thank you, Jaime, for gifting subs to Rat Doodle and Nick Lacerna. I remember Rat Doodle. Rat Doodle was causing all kinds of good chaos in here when they were here. And there's the Agnes. I love the era and style of them all. Sorry, says Mustache. No need to apologize. That's really cool. Yawning Kitten says, speaking of games, I mad respect the Katamari figure behind you. Ooh. Who said that? Was that Yawning Kitten? Hold on. Who said that? All right, well, you're my gamer friend now. Yeah, so this is how I played video games, guys. I don't even need to wait until they... This is Agnes's thing, by the way. To her rightful place between Viv and Firo. So, I could play video games that my brothers liked. And my brothers were not like nerds, so I wasn't playing things like Final Fantasy, like all these like nerdy RPG games that everybody was really into. I wasn't playing those. You know what I was playing? I was playing basketball games. I was playing Street Fighter. I was playing games like that. I was playing like Pick Up, Boom 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 Boom. They had Mario. But a lot of those games like Castlevania are like Metroid and things like that. My brothers weren't playing those. So I didn't get to play them. And I didn't retroactively get into a lot of those series until way later, way later. And there's a lot of like iconic series, right? Thank you, by the way, Cyber, for redeeming Agnes. There's a lot of iconic series like Metroid, like Castlevania that have been going on for a very, very long time and have inspired tons of like other games. But I never quite had a phase in my life where I was like using emulators to play really old games. I've just never been that dude. For reasons I'm not exactly sure why not, I just never had that phase. I did hit a phase where I remember like getting really into kind of stranger, quote unquote stranger Japanese games like Space Channel 5 and Parappa the Rapper and Jet Set Radio, usually games that had like funky music and cool visuals, but I never did the whole like going back thing. So a lot of times people will come to me about a game that like had a lot of its like high moments in like the late 90s, and they're like, oh my god, Omni, you've never played insert game title. And I'm like, no, I just didn't. I didn't have the availability to do it. I didn't have a job because I was way too young, so I couldn't afford to buy my own games, and my parents didn't buy me video games. I could only play video games that my brothers liked to play, so my entire like gaming tastes were kind of dictated by what could have been handed down to me from my brothers. Like Donkey Kong. They liked Donkey Kong for some reason. And so I just ended up being Donkey Kong person. They liked NBA Jam, Mustache Goblin, so I played NBA Jam. They really liked Double Dragons, so I got to play Double Dragons. What's up, Yeti.com? Thank you, whoa. Na, 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 na. I like that I can just see the Nas and know exactly what you were singing. Above that, you say Katamari Damacy is the only game you ever need to play. See, I didn't even see that comment. I just saw the Nas, but thank you. Wait, holy crap! Wait, I just saw that it was for freaking 5,000 bits. Whoa! I think you need to try to play the main medley. Do you know I actually remixed that theme? I don't know. I might have played it in like a really early production stream, Cyber, but I do have a remixed version of the Katamari opening theme. It's not good. It's not good. That should have been harder to do than it was. That should have been a lot harder. That's weird. I guess it's a testament to how easy and simple a lot of those melodies are in that game. What an amazing game, by the way. Mustache says, I grew up in a really bad area, so they kept me off the streets with games. I love this story, Mustache. My parents tried to keep me fed all the time. Games. Sorry. Trying that again. My parents tried to keep me fed with all the games. I mean, we can get into that. We can get into that if you like. My friend did a remix album called Katamari Fantasy where he did a lo-fi vaporwave mixes of the Katamari tracks plus Final Fantasy tracks. Interesting. I like this concept. Katamari Fantasy is pretty cool. 5,000 bits is like $100 or something. Dang, says Jaime. I gotta do something. I gotta do something nicer for the Yeti. I didn't know. I wish I knew the chords. Wait, hold on. So probably that chord. Yo, this is weird. Guys, I can play stuff from ears sometimes. Okay, I can play stuff from just memory. I haven't even heard this theme in a minute. Hold on. Maybe that chord? And then it changes, it goes higher. There we go. Yo, somebody give me a donut or something. I'm hearing a little scatting man in my head. Yeah, right. That's only funny for people that have played Katamari Damacy. What an amazing game! I can't make this stream about that game. I hope you put this on TikTok later because I'll play that on repeat. You can just play you can play the actual song, but I like you, Yawning Kitten. This has been a good stream actually so far. We have only had one of the garbage men come, but it is after 10, so we probably should go to the check-in if we're gonna stay on schedule today. Checking in with you. It's time to check in with me too. I'm fine. I'm glad that I put the cooldown on the claps that low because I should put it that low. Well, thank you, Cyber and Liana, both for the claps, and also I remember why I don't have it that low because I had it low for a second, and God bless their heart, Stormtrooper. Remember when Stormtrooper was in here? I love them dearly because they were just trying to support and be happy, but they clapped back to back so many times, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to put a cooldown on this. Sometimes I try to preempt people doing something a lot with a cooldown, but sometimes I need to see somebody abuse the cooldown in order for me to go, I need to add a longer cooldown to this. Okay, guys, we are in the check-in now. So time to check me in on how your Monday was. How was it? Did you do something good? Did you smoke a big cigarette? Was it one of the long cigarettes that like Cruella de Vil has? TheYeti.com says their check-in is, it's hot here. Got up to 114 Fahrenheit yesterday. I'm doing my best to stay cool and hydrated and make sure all my plant babies and fur babies are doing okay. My kids have their last day of school today, and I'm excited to go on adventures with them over the summer. Wow. Your life sounds like a movie. Your life is a movie. That sounds amazing. Oh, except for the whole 114 thing. As an Arizona resident, as an Arizona... What do you call somebody that's from Arizona? As an Arizonan, big summers is like a thing for me, right? Like getting up to 120. However, I was talking to somebody earlier today about big summer because they were like, oh, it's this, it's that. But the key to Arizona summers was that it was dry, you know? There wasn't humidity. So technically, even if it was really hot outside, all you potentially had to do was like squirt yourself with a hose and run really fast, and then you would be cool all of a sudden. But I know in a lot of climates that's just not an option. You know, that's not a thing that would actually cool you down because there's already tons of moisture in the air, and it's not wicking. It's not wicking is the problem. So I'm sorry to hear about the 114 degrees where you are, Yeti. But the fact that you're doing the extra work to keep your plants safe is good. I mean, Ellis here, you know what? Ellis is so small that it's always like in the shadow of Booba, which is like kind of sad. I don't love that. Anyways, Ellis, I left Ellis in the sun for a little too long, and it had its way with her, and she's still recovering from it. So I'm glad that you're doing what you can to keep your plant babies and your fur babies. I don't have any pets, but I can imagine that's even more of a hassle once the heat gets going. But that's really cool that you're going on adventures with your kids over the summer. I think that when I see parents doing like really cool things with their kids, I think there's like two ways to feel about that, as from my perspective. And like one way to feel about that is just like, man, what the heck? Like my parents weren't really hanging out with me when I was a kid. But the other way to think about it, or the better way to look at it, is like, that's really cool. I'm like glad that there are parents that are going on adventures with their kids. I don't even know what that is. I mean, I would go on adventures as a kid, but you better believe my parents were nowhere near. Lindsay says, playing Knockout City, and I couldn't say nice Katamari cover. Thanks, Lindsay. I hope you're enjoying yourself with Knockout City. Yanni Kitten says, first time catching you live, but loving this vibe here. You know what, Yanni Kitten? You've not been here for very long, and you've been nothing but nice. You've been nothing but nice. If I had like a trophy or something like that, I should probably make one. I should probably make some type of cyber trophy that I can give to very, very positive and supportive new people. But you've been so nice and pleasant, even in just the few comments you've made here. So I really do appreciate you. Now, Jan and Kitten, it is the check-in portion of the stream, so you can go ahead and check me on how your Monday was, assuming that was yesterday for you, right? And that your yesterday wasn't Tuesday. I assume you're not in Japan or something. Arizona alumni says, hi, mate. Yeah, I like that. That sounds fancier. I hope y'all clipped that because it's never going to happen again, says Cyber about the Katamari cover. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that anymore. That was just for Yeti. If I could have made it so that only Yeti.com could hear it, I would have done that. I would have pressed the Yeti exclusive button on my MIDI fighter. Okay. Ang says, Omni, let me ask you this before I forget. Uh-oh. I'm proceeding with caution. You ever eat golden berries up there in the city? Oh. No. What city? Los Angeles? No, I don't even know what that is. It sounds delicious, though. It sounds fancy. We all know how I feel about fans. Yanni Kitten says, wow, thanks. Yes, I'm in the States. Monday was okay. Not terrible, but I got like 2 hours of sleep. and parenting stuff, so, like, your stream keeping me in a chill headspace. Word up. 2 hours of sleep. Whew. That's definitely, I definitely have been there. Really recently, actually. This week. I think my Monday stream was on but a few hours of sleep. Or my Thursday stream last week. Not sure, but anyways, yeah. I'm sorry you got so little sleep. And I hope you get some more very soon. Cyber is redeeming question for you. My question for you, Cyber, is... Because earlier in the Discord, people started talking about... Sorry, when I say earlier in the Discord, I mean, like, I think last night into this morning or something like that. It felt like forever. It could have been 5 minutes, but for me, it felt like 5 lifetimes. They were talking about Homestuck, and I was just kind of like, I leave this space now. I think there's a lot of times where I'll be talking with people, whether it's in real life, Cyber, or it's on an internet space, and we're talking, we're like, I love roller coasters, hot dogs with the mustard, you know it, baby. And then somebody, like, mentions something specific, and the conversation goes to that point, and I just kind of go like, I leave this conversation now. And I just kind of socially back up and exit. What is that? What is that for you, Cyber? What's something that's not even evil? It's not like... It's not harmful, it's not offensive, but it's like when the conversation turns towards that thing, you're kind of like, I think I'm out of here. I think I'm actually, I got something I need to do. I don't want to talk about this. Chaos Nick says, anyone else here in the Northwest who's survived the past few days? Honestly, Chaos Nick, it's really wild that the Pacific Northwest is hotter than Southern California right now. Like, it's really weird that all of my friends in, like, Washington are, like, dying. And I'm sitting down here in LA in a literal desert. And I'm, like, wearing an undershirt, a shirt on top of that, a long sleeve button up on top of that, a cardigan on top of that. And I'm just chilling right now. Like, it's really weird. I don't know what's really going on. They're all over Farmers Market, and I'm addicted to them. They're a crossbreed between blackberries and gooseberries. I'd like to try some, Ang. Do you think they would sell them at Sprouts? Does Sprouts count as a farmer's market, or do I have to go to legit farmer's market? Because I won't be able to do that until Thursday. Lindsay says, also, wow, I'm officially hooked on Knockout City because I was itching to play just one match. Like some fiend. Yeah, that's an addiction. You might want to get it checked out. Don't end up like me, Lindsay. Don't end up like me. Don't end up like me on, like, this close to ranking up, and you're just like, I actually said at... At a certain point yesterday, my team on Knockout City lost, and I out loud with my mouth said, God dang it. And I had to look myself. I had to, like, look myself in a mirror and go, Omni, you need to turn this game off. If you're doing that now over a dodgeball video game, it's time to go into the kitchen and make some big boy food and think about what you're doing. And so I logged off. But then I logged back on because we ended up playing a little while, didn't we? What does a gooseberry even taste like, says Lindsay. Cyber says, like, I actually don't know, Lindsay. I've sometimes you can eat something and still not be able to actually describe what the thing tastes like. I don't know what to tell people blueberries taste like, honestly. And I've eaten tons of those. I have them every morning. I don't even know if they're sweet, if I'm being honest. I don't know what a blueberry tastes like. Guys, what does a blueberry taste like? Cyber says, like a thing I'm not qualified to talk about, or just something that makes me uncomfortable? Neither, somehow, Cyber. Neither. Just a thing you're like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. Because it's not going to be fun or productive for me. I don't want to talk about this thing. But, I mean, to you personally, that could be only things that make you uncomfortable or things you don't feel qualified to talk about. I would argue everything I talk about, Cyber, are things I'm not qualified to talk about. I'm not even really qualified to talk about music. Chaos Nick says, it's much worse because the sun sets so late and rises so early. It was about 95 Fahrenheit at 7 p.m. Yeah, that sounds like Arizona for sure. That sounds like where I'm from, baby. It'd be like sundown. Like, the sun be gone in Arizona, and it's still, like, in the 90s outside. And the pavement's just, like, sizzling. It's so wild. Liana's check-in is that they had to take someone to the ER over the weekend. They're okay. Good. And Monday work sucked, but I was able to chill. Glad weather is nice at least. Yeah, right, Liana? What's going on? Why is California having nice weather? Well, I guess we always have nice weather. But still, we should be hotter, right? Chaos Nick says, I've traveled and lived in subtropical and tropical countries, and there are among the most miserable days I've experienced, and almost no one has AC here. Houses have poor airflow. That's a very interesting thing, Chaos, that I always think about. Like, when we're talking about weather and we're talking about climate, some places are built for the climate. Like, for example, my apartment doesn't have AC, but I don't really need AC most of the time because LA is pretty temperate. And like when things went below freezing in Texas, that level of freezing would have been okay for a lot of places like Detroit or Montreal, but because it was Texas and that wasn't a thing they necessarily built for, it was pretty devastating. And so, yeah, I can imagine if you're in a place that's like got no airflow in the houses and no AC, it's rough. I am fortunate in that the airflow in my apartment is pretty optimal. Like, I've never lived in a place that has airflow quite this great. It's wild. I think it has something to do with me being high up and the placement of the windows, maybe, but it is nice. I really feel for everybody that's going through it right now. I was cussing a lot yesterday, says Lindsay, but I get hyped over games like that. Word up. Yeah. I mean, different folks, different strokes. I think in a game, I jokingly will yell about stuff. I mean, Cyber's played games with me. I'll like jokingly say a lot of stuff. But I don't think that I get like very legitimately upset in games. And I think even when you're cussing, Lindsay, it's probably just like lighthearted stuff. But I don't get like legitimately upset in games. But when I lost that, I was like legitimately like, we should have had him. We should have had him, man. It was really weird, especially playing with strangers. It's actually T says, I baked a bit, cleaned my house, and cared for my plants. I don't think I did much, to be honest. It's actually T. Do you hear yourself? You baked a bit. I didn't. You cleaned your house. I didn't. And you cared for your plants. And honestly, I'm just barely holding on to that one. It sounds like you did quite a bit, actually. It sounds like you did a lot of housekeeping and wellness of the living space. I like that. What did you bake, by the way, if you don't mind me asking? Yawning Kitten says, I had to Google Homestuck. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, Yawning Kitten. You actually didn't have to Google Homestuck. Yawning Kitten, how often do you clear your history in your Google searches? Mustache Goblins check-in says, I had yesterday off work. Congratulations, Mustache. 3-day weekend, maybe? I don't know if you work weekends. Good relaxing day. My wife put me to work. Everybody that comes to the stream is married, and you guys are making me feel very lonely, by the way. Anyways, moving on. Good relaxing day. My wife put me to work. She got a promotion at work. I had to set up her equipment here at the home. Good in general. What kind of equipment? I'm turning into that person. I'm turning into the person that asks follow-up questions. But that's really cool. That you had a relaxing day. I would like to have one of those very soon. And I think I will, you know. I think I will, Mustache. Chaos Nick says, blueberry tastes like heaven if you experience the fresh local kind. And you can't experience this in California, by the way. Okay. All right, Chaos Nick. Okay. Yes, it was like, the world's great, but not for you. Just in case you were thinking of saying you've had a fresh blueberry, you haven't. They don't have them in California. They're illegal there. Yeah, all right, Chaos Nick. I like blueberries. I don't know that I've ever eaten anything that tasted like heaven. That weird oily, garlicky, salty oil grease that they put on Olive Garden breadsticks, that stuff tastes like heaven. That stuff tastes like heaven to me. Yeti.com, I always almost say yeet. Yeti.com says, no shame, eat what you eat. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day. Chaos Nick, where can I get a fresh blueberry? Where can I get a farm fresh blueberry? Why can't we have those? What kind of where can I get one? Chaos Nick. Jaime says, for their check-in, I've been going back and forth on if I should submit something for a pixel art contest. I'm Shibuya, but I also don't feel good. Finished listening to the new Tyler album and I love it, and have been so busy with work, so I haven't been able to pop in as much, but glad I was able to today. Well, I'm glad to have you in here today, Jaime, and I'm glad you listened to the new Tyler album. You're ahead of me. I listened to the new Flaming Ghosts and I listened to the new Hiatus Coyote, but I haven't gotten around to the Tyler album yet. But I will. And I mean, if you do submit something for the pixel art contest, you've got my vote. I hope for the best. From that if you do enter. Dainty Sunflowers check-in is that Monday felt long because work, but I came home, did my homework, and just watched 2001 Space Odyssey, so it ended on a good note. Dainty Sunflower, I've actually never seen that movie, and I feel like earlier I was talking about having not played Castlevania, right? But then people that know me are like, Omni loves Hollow Knight, which is a product of Castlevania and like Metroid, right? Like it is a Metroidvania game. And so a lot of the games I love come from things that I have never experienced. Uh-oh. Would I get banned? If those dogs if those dogs attacked each other, would I get banned from Twitch? Anyways, back to what I was saying. I've never seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, but I feel like a lot of the things that I love and have experienced are like byproducts of it, you know, directly inspired by that film. So maybe I should watch it. Cyber says, I think the thing that probably strikes me the most is like interpersonal arguments on Twitter about, of all things, DDR scores. I knew your answer to this was going to be good. I knew your answer one to this was going to be good, and I knew it was going to be something that I didn't predict, and I didn't predict this. As you know, I'm an old head deep into the rhythm game scene, and people, mostly kids nowadays, freaking youngsters, still bicker and argue about scores and song ratings and what it means to pass a quote-unquote real 15 difficulty song or whatever, and it always ends in hurt feelings and people complaining, so I'm always out. Amen, Cyber. Amen. Amen. As soon as things get like... I feel you on that. In most conversations, whenever things turn into like real blank versus, you know, this is the real difficulty. This is the way the game's supposed to be played. Like, oh, you didn't actually do it with this. You did it with the assist on. Oh, you didn't actually record these drums. Like, usually when it gets into things like that, sometimes sometimes even I personally will have feelings about the things being said, I try to like reverse my way out of those conversations. But DDR score discourse is hilarious. I didn't even know that was a thing that was happening on Twitter. Chaos Nick says, yeah, places and people here are not built for this climate at all. It's insane. At least our power grid didn't fail like the dysfunctional Texas. Yeah, I'm hoping for the best. That was really sad to see that happen to Texas. Texas was like, they really needed help. When I cuss, I'm not actually mad. It's just like, yeah, I feel you, Lindsay. I feel you. Sorry if I didn't say that earlier. I thought I did. Maybe I said it in my head. Yawning Kid says, if I get stuck and frustrated in the game, I make myself switch games. Because 9 times out of 10, when I go back level-headed after a time, it's done easy. And I'm always like, WTF? I feel you with that, Yawning Kid. The first time I had an experience with this was playing Final Fantasy VIII. There was a boss inside of Final Fantasy VIII where you basically had to fight the like real headmaster or principal of your school. And he was like an alien or something. I don't remember. It was nonsense. It was a freaking Final Fantasy game. Who cares? It was garbage. But I remember playing it and like being frustrated to tears trying to beat this boss. I just kept getting wrecked over and over and over. And then I went back like a week later, no grinding, no nothing, and I beat it on my first try. And I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. What am I doing anymore? Titanium says, quick check-in, been in a bit of a funk for the past couple of days, but doing what I can to bust out of it. Hey, Titanium, if there's anything I can do to help you bust out of that funk, I'm here. A funk companion. A fun companion? A fun companion? A funk companion? Guys, there's something there. There's a joke there, maybe. I don't know. Yawning Kitten says, I never clear my search history. Google knows plenty about me, and I don't stress about it. Google knows you didn't know what Homestuck was until today. Chaos Nick says, man, you even laugh the same crazy way as me, says Chaos Nick. I'm curious to see what you think of the song I sent you if you ever saw it. Send it again, Chaos Nick. Send it again. Run it again, because I don't remember. Chaos says, got the official word that I'll be working an Artist Alley table at New York Comic Con this year. Congratulations, Aang. What the heck? That's so cool. When does New York, is it in November or something like that, or October? I feel like it was in October last time I went, but I also know that, like, cons sometimes can get moved around, but that's really cool. Congratulations. Aesthetic for my friend who was accepted. Hopefully we'll be able to debut a project there as well, so here's hoping I can finish in time. Gotta stay focused. Holy crap, that's huge. I'd give you a trophy. We gotta make trophies for this stream. That's so sick, though. For real, congratulations, Aang. Wow. I haven't been to a con in a minute. Blueberries are grown from Oregon on and up, says Chaos. Northwest cherries, berries, etc. are divine. Okay. What's that berry that Portland's so wild about? Not boysenberries, but they're marionberries. I've had marionberries, and by the way, Chaos, I spent quite a bit of time in Oregon and did eat a lot of berries while I was there, and I will say they were delicious. However, I don't remember eating a blueberry when I was up there, because mostly when I was up there, I was eating berries that like I hadn't seen before, and I remember marionberries. I think that was what they were called. I remember marionberries being like a thing, and I ate them, and it was pretty chill. She's a team lead at Kohler, the sink and... Oh, I know that company. It's all computer stuff. That's really cool, Mustache. Congratulations to your wife. I don't know how long she's been doing this, but congratulations. That's wild. I do know this company. I wasn't expecting to know what the company was, so this is cool for me. Northwest Cherries, Chaos says, otherwise I think most of the ones from the US come from Chile. Holy crap. Where's Isadora? Why does that sound wrong? Isadora? Maybe it's because I haven't read Isadora's name in text in a while. The new hiatus is incredible for show, says Titanium. Yeah, right? We were waiting on that album for a long time, so we're all happy it's finally out. Whoops, that was for Danny. Sunflower says, Ang, no worries. What time to join in? Says Sans. When I get banned from Twitch. Anyway, moving on. Oh, it was because there was two dogs outside, Sans, and they were like not happy to see each other. Either that or they were very happy to see each other. It's hard. I don't know what a happy bark is versus an angry bark half the time. There wasn't any snarling. Maybe it was a happy bark? I don't know. Yanni Kitten says, oh my god, I love DDR2. I'm a big fan of DDR. It's actually, T says, I baked a cornetti, which is basically a croissant. I'm not too good at baking, so that's why I try to bake a lot. That's such a beautiful thing to say. It's actually T. The sentiment, I'm not too good at blank, so that's why I try to do it a lot. It's such a great thing that I wish more people were like you. It's actually T. I wish more people were like you. I think the exact opposite of that sentiment is what I see shared mostly on the internet. Is like, I'm not really good at something, so I try to avoid it at all costs to protect my like self-esteem. I'm even that way a lot of time. There's a lot of things I just suck at, and I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm not trying to like just like look like an L miserably publicly over and over again. Anyways, it's actually T goes on to say it's quite relaxing, I think, so I don't mind sometimes scrapping the mess that I create. But this wasn't that time. Well, I'm glad that it was a success this time. Sometimes it's actually T, when spending like an hour making something and I burn it or it's raw or like whatever, I mess it up and I take that first bite and it doesn't taste good, that is a big moment for me. That is a big moment of like, it takes so much self-control and like discipline for me to not just give up. I'm like on the verge of tears going like, I'm hungry, my stomach is growling and I can't eat because I screwed up. Thank you, Liana, for the lurk. I hope your work call goes well. If I'm not back, I hope y'all have a great day. Thanks, Liana. Always kind. Always patient. Wait, I think that's love. Love is always kind. Love is always patient. Isn't that like one of those textbook vow things? Sorry, Liana. I'll try to say something original next time. I've been to too many weddings. Lindsay says, oh, you said it earlier. I was just saying it in agreement. Oh, word. Still never beat FF8, says Mustache Goblin. Mustache Goblin? You're not the only one. I don't tell people. I've actually only... You want to know something really sad? The only Final Fantasy game of the old ones, the like, whatever the older ones, I've ever beat was 9. And it took me like 2 years. The newer ones, like 15, easy, baby. Easy peasy. Could beat that thing. 10, who didn't beat 10? Easy peasy. But like some of those old ones were just too freaking long and really hard. FF8 was one of the ones that was really long and hard for me. Mustache. Tina's check-in is that yesterday was a really hard day for me. Or yesterday was a hard day for me. I'm sorry to hear this, Tina. Found out my cat ate an elderberry cutting I had on the counter. I found a hairball with orange hair and leaves on the floor, so I knew it was David Bowie. Is one of your cats named David Bowie? Because if that's not... Anyways, I'm gonna read on. I called the vet, and they wanted to see him immediately since elderberry is toxic. It was pouring rain, and I drove as fast as I could to get him to the ER. He stayed all day, gave him fluids, and he was clear to go home at 7. He's alive and doing good this morning. Well, I'm glad that this story ended in... He's good. Also, I didn't know your cat's name was David Bowie. I don't know if you mentioned that in the stream. I don't know if you mentioned that in the stream, but with loose context, saying, I found a hairball with orange hair and leaves on the floor, so I knew it was David Bowie. It was, like, wild for me. It was wild for me to read that. But I'm glad that everything worked out, and I'm glad you were able to get the cat there in time. I haven't had to drive in the rain in a very long time, and in a weird way, I kind of miss it. Yawning Kitten says, right, like, that's crazy. I never played Final Fantasy VIII, but I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. FF7 was my first. 8 was actually my first, believe it or not. And then I had to go back and play 7. And imagine that. Imagine, like, a young Omni brain playing 8 and being like, this looks sick. And then going back to Final Fantasy 7 where people's freaking hands look like bricks. And I was like, this is trash. You telling me people want to play this one? Funk Companions for sure. I appreciate you, homie. Absolutely. Question, absolutely, Titanium. My question for Jaime is, Jaime... Jaime, what is a piece of technology that you kind of have refused to upgrade and get into? Maybe it's like a thing. I know, like, for my dad doesn't really like using apps a lot. You know, my dad has a smartphone, but he doesn't really use a lot of the smarter capabilities in it. For me, there's a lot of, like, advancements that I've seen happen that I'm just like, that's stupid. I'll stick to the old way. Like, electronic can openers, I think are really dumb. Like, I can use a regular can opener. It's not inconveniencing me that much, but I understand that electric can openers are really, really good for, like, people who maybe don't have the dexterity in their hands or they're handicapped, and so it could be really good for them. But what is something that's like an advanced piece of technology that does make things easier or more accessible, but you prefer to use the, like, older, more archaic, more difficult way to do the thing? Jaime, that is my question for you. Moving on through the chat, we have RizloFicial. I'm reading it that way because there's only one F in it. RizloFicial. Hello. Oh, you say hello to me. Hello there, sir. I hope you're having a great day. I hope the same for you. We're in the check-in portion of the stream right now, so you can tell me how your Monday was, but hello. Thank you for coming in with such good, positive energy. Tina says, be careful with elderberries. Only edible when cooked, and all the leaves / bark and root are toxic to humans and pets. Oh my god. That sounds like such a high maintenance. Why were you doing this? What were you putting it in? Are they delicious? Is it like one of those things where it could kill you, but if you do it right, it's like one of the most, like, sweetest, the sweetest of desserts? Is that why you were preparing them? She really appreciates it, and so do I, says Mustache. The congratulations to the wife. You're very welcome. Chaos Nick says, message you, going to do yoga. Keep up with what you're doing. Enjoy your yoga, Chaos, and don't be like me. Keep up with what you're doing, i.e. yoga. Shaggy Sand says, oh my god, LMAO. Oh, sorry. Ooh, LMAO. I was like, yo, what did I miss? Oh, with the getting banned from Twitch thing. Yeah. You have so much style, says Rizzle Official. Thank you. I don't know that I do. I don't know that that's true, but I am going to choose to accept this compliment and not try to, like, reflect it or, like, shirk it off. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Lindsay's check-in is, I had a dentist appointment, which I almost forgot about, played more Knockout City, did piano and a little drawing, have a bunch of annoying / stressful life stuff to figure out in the near future, trying to not get overwhelmed. Yeah, try not to get overwhelmed. I feel like there should be, like, I feel like there should be billboards at this point, Lindsay, just, like, on the street where it's like, hey, try not to get overwhelmed today. Try not to think about everything today. Pick one thing and think about that. Because, like, in LA, I don't know if this is happening in everybody else's city, but here in LA, we have all these, like, mental health awareness billboards that have started showing up where it's like, hey, remember, everybody's just doing their best. Or, like, hey, remember, to try to take it one step at a time, one day at a time. Remember, like, mental health is key. Like, there's a lot of billboards like that, like, around Los Angeles. And I wish there was just one that just said, like, hey, man, try not to get overwhelmed. Or, like, hey, man, It's a rough one out there. Like, take it easy. Chill, bro. Like, that's all I would need to say for me. But in all seriousness, though, I do hope you don't get too overwhelmed today, Lindsay. Or in any day in the future. Save your tears for another day, says Aberigo. And then they end it with a bunch of la-la-las. I would like to save my tears, actually. I would like to save my tears. I've been saving them up for quite a bit now. Mustache says, well, you did yourself a favor beating the best one, FF9, all day. I do like FF9. I'm a big FF9 fan for a lot of weird reasons that actually have nothing to do with the story. I like the character design, and I like the towns. I like the way FF9 looks and feels a lot. I like the way it looks and feels. The story, most of which I've really forgotten. Yawning Kitten says, I don't tell people I've never beat the Pokemon League in the originals. I played so much Pokemon, but at that point I was just suffering. Still love the games, though. Yawning Kitten, are you talking about the Elite Four? Are you talking about the Elite Four? I did beat them, but the only reason I beat them, Yawning Kitten, is because it was a Game Boy and I got to take it everywhere with me. I don't want to know how many hours I actually sunk into that stupid waste of time game. I'm so lost. Got here late, says Rizlo Official. Rizlo, we're just doing a check-in part of the stream. I did some like piano playing a little bit earlier, which we're gonna jump back into, but I'm just checking on everybody on the stream and seeing how everybody's doing. So feel free to tell me how your Monday went, Rizlo Official, if you would like to. He's an orange cat, and I named him David Bowie, says Tina about their cat. Ah, yes. I will try to remember this, Tina, about you, that you have a cat named David Bowie. Voice calls, says Yawning Kitten. I hate them. Some family forces it, but I hate randomly calling me. Like, I'm not presentable. Yeah, I think FaceTime is stupid. However, is there a however for that? I guess there kind of isn't. Never mind. Yeah, I'm a big fan of FaceTime. That's actually pretty funny because I'm streaming on Twitch right now, which is, you know. Anyways, but I prepare for this. And it happens at the same time every day. Which actually, if somebody FaceTimed me at the same time every day, I would still hate it. So, I don't know. Maybe the two things aren't actually correlative. Omni Billboard, says Mustache Goblin. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. I'm in South America and overwhelmed too, says Rizlo Official. Ooh, South America. We were just talking about Chile a little bit earlier, Rizlo. Which is down there. Down there somewhere. I don't know if it's anywhere near where you are. Have you done your check-in, Omni? I have not. I usually wait till I get to the bottom to do my check-in so I don't get even further behind. But I have not done it yet. Not quite. I had Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Silver, and I think back in the day, says Yawning Kitten. I only had Blue and Yellow. I loved Blue, and then Yellow was cool because Pikachu could follow you, and then after that, when things started getting crazy, I jumped off the boat. It's actually T says, I'm the same. Sometimes my food is just made with anger or aggressive love, which, you know, tomato. But the more I do it, and the more I fail, I think I just get better at controlling those things, and I don't give up anymore, and I try to fix it instead. For sure, it's actually T. Also, I feel like if you mess up a little bit in food, you, as the cook, are a little bit more adept to being able to eat it. Usually when I'm cooking for somebody else and I mess up, I feel a little bit more self-conscious than when I mess up my own meals. Jaime says their answer for the question that I asked them about the whole technology thing is, I feel like this is a thing I'm guilty of a lot. A while back, before I got a smartphone, I had a little flip phone and refused to upgrade to a smartphone because I had an iPod Touch that could download apps, so I never saw the need to put the two together. I have one that does one thing great, I have another that does the other thing great. Eventually, the upgrade happened to a smartphone because we got a new phone plan and they gave us new phones for free or something. I also had a professor during that time get frustrated with me because I would paint my pixel art rather than make prints of something with them, but it was/is just more satisfying for me to look at the painting than a print. I feel you with that. I actually feel you with a lot of everything you've just said. I jumped to smartphones really late because I liked having a keyboard. QWERTY keyboards were like huge for me. And so even once I did get to a smartphone eventually, I only had the smartphone that had the fold-out QWERTY keyboard. And then once they really started doing away with the like sidekick type keyboards, it was horrible for me. I hated just going to like screen texting. It's really annoying for me, but I feel you on that. I definitely feel you. Thank you so much, Rizlo Official, for the follow. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for sticking around. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this and I'll do my check-in, but still feel free to do yours as well, Rizlo. FaceTime feels invasive to my private space. I feel you, Yanni Kitten. I'm so behind. I have Pokemon X on my DS and I haven't really played, but eventually I'll catch up when it's cheaper. I have since given up, Yanni Kitten. I'll never catch up on Pokemon. It's weird playing this old Apex map, says Cyber. I imagine it probably is, because the maps have gotten so complicated and actually better, I would argue. Like, the older maps in Apex are just that. Like, there's a lot of things about the maps that needed to go. Like, there are like choke points in some of those maps that I can't figure out a counter for, and people would take advantage of them a lot, and so people would kind of rejoice when they got rid of them. But then, people, i.e. me, you miss what you don't have, you miss what you can't access. Mustache Goblin says, I refuse to upgrade to any social medias, but I'll need to make something if I really do start streaming, says Mustache Goblin. Yeah, I guess so, right? Yawning Kitten says, valid. There are a few things I won't bother to try to catch up on. Game-wise, yeah. I'm not going to try to catch up on Dragon Quest. Even though I know it's an anthological series, I just feel like I don't want to get into it now. There's so many of them. What's one more before I start playing? One more thing that I don't want to catch up on that's games is Metroid, actually. Metroid, it looks like an amazing time, but I didn't play the older ones, and I don't want to. I don't want to play all these games to play the new one. That looks fun. I hope everybody enjoys it, and it looks freaking amazing. But yeah, I'm not gonna play all those old games. I'm just not gonna do it. I got to be honest with myself. I got to be real with myself. So my check-in. Today's what, Tuesday? Yesterday was Monday. Yesterday, I ended up actually eating Five Guys. I was gonna go to In-N-Out Burger, but the line was long, as it always is, and Five Guys didn't have a line. And I walked into Five Guys. Sorry, pause that. Umbe says, you don't need to play the older ones, right? If you're talking about Dragon Quest, absolutely not. If you're talking about Metroid, it is like a story. Like, it does pick, the games are connected. Quite a few of them. And this new one that's coming out is connected to some of the older ones. So yeah, I wouldn't say you need to play the older ones. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but the type of person I am, I like to have all of the story, and so I would feel really guilty just jumping on at the end. Five Guys, I'm jealous, says Aang. It was delicious. It was the first time, by the way, that I walked into Five Guys, ordered food in Five Guys, and sat and ate inside of Five Guys next to a group of people that were sitting next to me. And there was a few things that I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was the thing. I forgot that's the thing. I was doing that the whole time. It was so delicious. Freaking Five Guys tastes so good. And then I went into somebody else's stream, and I mentioned that I ate Five Guys, and they were like, oh, I feel like you eat Five Guys a lot. Like, Five Guys is really fancy. I don't go there really often because it's too expensive. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, oh, I guess Five Guys is kind of expensive. But I think that over the past 6 years, LA has destroyed my concept of what expensive is. Not for everything, but specifically for food, like burgers, slices of pizza, ice cream, boba. There's a lot of things that when it is kind of expensive, my brain kind of just goes this is just what it costs. This is normal. And I think that Five Guys is exactly that. When I spend money at Five Guys, I'm like, yeah, this is just, this is what it costs to have a good burger. I'm not comparing Five Guys to McDonald's or something like that, because, I mean, McDonald's tastes like trash. But if I compare it to, other burgers that are just as good, arguably, it is still on the expensive side. I think Habit is cheaper. Anyways, Five Guys is just alright, in my opinion, says Umbe. Five Guys is not worth, hold on, let me scroll up. Five Guys is not worth the price, says Cyber. I had this discussion the other day in another Discord, and I think I even said it in Omni Discord, but I don't feel good paying $20 for a burger, drink, and fries. I never buy a drink in any restaurant I go to, so. But I see what you're saying, Cyber. I am this way about some things. For whatever reason, I'm not that way about burgers, Cyber. But I'm this way about some things. But here's another thing. Okay, so, crap. This is actually a really, really good discussion. Or at least I have something that I want to share about this once I get to the bottom of the chat. I feel that on food, says Titanium. Relatable thought process, says Jaime. Their veggies are so fresh and they have veggie sandwich. Yeah, Aang. So I can get a meal at Wendy's for like half that. I agree that you can, Cyber, and so can I. And I also like Wendy's, but a Wendy's burger does not, to me, taste fresh. Even though their whole thing is fresh, never frozen beef or whatever, something about a Wendy's burger tastes fast foody, while Five Guys, to me, personally, does taste better. It tastes like higher quality. And I understand paying more money for higher quality. Like, as much as I love Little Caesars, which is $5 for freaking 8 slices of pizza, I'm never going to argue that its quality is as good as going to a place like even Papa John's, you know? It's just not that. And so, while Papa John's costs 3 times as much as Little Caesars, I'm like, yeah, I understand. Like, the quality's better. And I can taste that quality difference between Wendy's and Five Guys. But if people can't, then I don't think that they should ever eat Five Guys. It would definitely be a waste of money. But the reason that I like that conversation is because a lot of people eat really fancy things, right? Cyber and everybody else. Like, there's a lot of people in this chat that like steak, right? There's a lot of people in this chat that like lobster. There's a lot of people in this chat that like more pricier dishes. And me, Cyber, I don't really eat anything that's fancy. And so somebody that could sit down at a table and have like a steak for like $60, for me, I'm like, oh, that's ridiculous, because I don't eat steak. I don't have like a value system in my head for steak. But I think that I can spend a little bit more on kind of rudimentary food items like a taco or a burger or a pizza or a hot dog, because those exist at the highest of like my value in food. Like, it doesn't go much higher than that. I'm not eating caviar. I'm not eating lobster rolls. I'm not eating steak. I'm not eating sushi. I'm not eating a lot of the more expensive, higher priced items up here. Like, I feel like if we could break up like food that's available in America on like a price, an average price ratio, I think the stuff that exists in the higher price range, I don't even eat those things ever. I might not even eat the range beneath that. I feel like I eat like C-level food. The B and A doesn't exist. So I'll spend more on C-level food because that kind of substitutes my B and my A level food groups. Am I kind of making sense at all? Or maybe not making sense, but does anybody understand even what I'm saying? Lindsay says, I think when you live somewhere with a high cost of living, you do that to stay sane. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll go through a day-to-day feeling constantly ripped off. Absolutely true. And I don't know anybody else in this stream that lives in Los Angeles, so I'll try not to talk about that too much specifically. But yeah. Or else I'll just feel ripped off all the time. I'm about to feel ripped off in like 3 days when I have to pay my rent. Tina says, same. Here in Houston, cost of living is high. We had In-N-Out over the weekend and the first time here. Oh, so good. Congratulations, Tina. My mom was like, this is good and not that expensive. Yeah, In-N-Out is like scary cheap for what it is. It's a very small burger, but it's a quality burger. Yawning Kitten says, gotta lurk, sadly. Kiddo having a hard time. If I can't jump back in chat, I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Thanks, Yawning Kitten. Thank you for being here in the first place, by the way. Titanium says, I feel that. I have a nice amount of food options that fall within the $8 to $13 range that I eat a lot. That's like my version of cheap in New York City. Yeah. And as somebody who, again, is not from an expensive place, like I come from Arizona where things at least used to be very, very cheap, the idea of even spending, like, I come from $5 footlong Subway, I come from Little Caesars, and so coming out here and having to spend like $12 on one thing, it was like, bro, it doesn't come with a side, it doesn't come with a drink, it's not a combo meal. And I did, like, that thought process in my brain slowly got worn down over time to where I'm like, yeah, man, it's it. If I'm either gonna eat freaking McDonald's or I'm going to eat food that's gonna cost a little bit more, you know? And so yeah, I think it is just, you know, maybe a cost of living thing, and it's also the fact that I just don't eat fancy food. I don't have fancy feasts, guys. Boston was ridiculous. It's apparently the top 10 most expensive places to live in the U.S., says Lindsay. I believe that. So cheap and good, says Mustache. Talking about dumplings. Chinatown dumplings would do just fine in New York City. Dumplings are good, but I can't have dumplings every day. I was just telling somebody this the other day because I had soup dumplings, which I love, but whew, every day I would throw up. Meow Works Up says, I love Five Guys. Their burgers make me feel like I'm eating a burger made out of Friends barbecue get-together, baby. Only that Friends barbecue burger would have probably been free, huh? But I feel you, Mail Workshop. It feels like a real burger. It feels like it was assembled by human hands. Something about drive-through places like Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, of which I eat and I do, well, except for McDonald's, of which I eat and I do enjoy, it doesn't feel real. Something about it doesn't feel like it was assembled by people, even though I know it was. It just feels... It feels like candy to me for some reason. When I open a Five Guys burger, I can pull apart all the pieces individually. And there's that weird thing that happens in like fast food places where you... Sometimes the pieces of it are like stuck together, or like the tomato will just be this weird imprint in the top bun. I don't want to gross anybody out. That stuff bothers me though. Here in Quito, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, Riesla, I'm trying. Here in Quito, I can get a good meal for $3.50. It's cheap and good. I feel that. I would like a cheap meal for $3.50. I can't get anything for $3.50. I think that's about the cost of a drink. Titanium says, I used to go to this place called Vanessa's. Crazy good and cheap dumplings, but it would wreck me. Yeah, right? That doesn't feel real. Aspect of McDonald's is why I love it. The doesn't feel real aspect of McDonald's is why I love it, says Meow Workshop. We got to move on from this conversation. But I also like that aspect. I don't really like McDonald's, but going to places where it just feels like disgusting, sometimes you need a trash meal. Sometimes I like trash meals. That's why I really like Dick's in Seattle. That's why I like, come on, Omni, just one more. That's why I used to like Arby's. It just doesn't really feel like it feels weird. It doesn't feel like food. It feels like a completely separate thing. Like, there's food and then there's candy and then there's whatever Arby's is. Cyber's check-in is that I rested yesterday and I feel better. Apex today, Omni. You should join me. I think I will. I do need to go get pizza first at some point, though. This is Wild Maps. This is Wild Maps. I'll hop on. I'll be on the PlayStation a little bit today. I'll, like, bounce back and forth between, like, Apex and Knockout. But yeah, I'm down. Nintendo HQ is totally sick, says Titanium. To Mustache. Super excited for the Nintendo HQ Pokemon Center. Oh, right. Right. I forgot that that's a thing. I ate those food. I love that. Cyber, when I was at the party, there was like a lot of animators there. And so several animators and game developers were all they had started some weird contest where they were all drawing Garfield on Post-it notes. It was really weird. It was a weird part of the party, but like they were drawing Garfield on Post-it notes like really quick, and one of them actually had the water running in the kitchen and was just wetting their finger and drawing Garfield on the counter with water. And they were like, Omni, which is the best Garfield? Omni, which is the best Garfield? Omni, which is just pick a Garfield. Pick the one that feels like it's most Garfield's essence. And I was like, guys, I don't know what Garfield looks like. And they were so mad. I've never seen people that mad at me. Well, at least in the past 48 hours. But I hadn't seen that many people that mad at me. They were so pissed because I was the only one that wasn't drawing Garfield. And they were like, "You've seen Garfield, Omni. You've seen Garfield." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean loosely, but like I don't really know. You'd have to show me an image of Garfield. I'd have to Google." And they're like, "No, don't Google it. Just go off and remember which one feels like Garfield to you." And I felt bad because I knew if I answered a certain way, people would feel like their Garfield wasn't good. And there are some people in there that are like, I've been drawing Garfield for 20 years. Garfield is basically... Like, they had this whole argument where they were saying Garfield was the basis of all cartoon character animation. They were like, Garfield is why all of these cartoon characters look like this. Look at his eyes. They're like, you should be able to start with the eyes and just draw a few simple lines and have an iconic silhouette. That's what Garfield is. That's what all... They were going really in on Garfield. It was a pretty cool party, though. Aang says, I saw a picture of Garfield with titties, and that's all I see now. I'm really sorry that you saw this, Aang. I wish I could take this away from you. Umbe says, how do you not know what Garfield looks like? Honestly, Umbe, I know what Garfield looks like. Umbe, okay? Okay? I know what Garfield looks like, but if you gave me a pen and paper right now, you don't want to know what I would... Don't do it, Omni. Should I do it? Don't do it. I don't have a pen and paper with me anyway. So I can't draw Garfield even if I wanted to. We have to get to the news at some point. This is because Umbe. This is for you, Umbe. This is because I'm sick of your attitude. Does Garfield have eyelashes? Does Garfield have spots? Does Garfield look like this? This is... See, when you say... When you say, how do you not know what Garfield looks like? That's what Garfield looks like in my brain. I don't know what Garfield looks like. I didn't watch the movie. I didn't read that comic. It was the one that I skipped in the Sunday comics. Because it was boring. All the jokes were weird. They were like old people jokes. I didn't like it at all. It was stupid. It was a waste of time.
Time to do the news. I think it's time to do the news. It's definitely time to do the news. Do the news.
Welcome to the news portion of the stream. Oh, crap. Better than my attempt would be, says Umbe. Umbe, do you know what Garfield looks like? I'm not Googling Garfield right now. I'm not about to mess up my Google like homie did in the stream, Google and freaking Homestuck. I'm not about to do that to myself. The algorithm already hates me. The algorithm already thinks it knows what I like, and it doesn't, by the way. I get the wildest recommends. I get the wildest, like, not safe for work recommends from... Well, they're pretty safe for work, depending on what your job is, I suppose, right? Hold on. Because we're in the news section now. You can still do your, check-ins. You can still do your check-ins, but I do need to try to at least get through this before the next garbage truck comes. Which, by the way, I don't hear him. We don't hear him, but we know he will get here. I mean, it's 11. He should have been here by now. Anyways, we're in the Rex section of the stream. I like to whisper false leads into my phone to throw the algorithm. False lead sounds like a really cool musical term. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm not going to skip over the fact that Jaime did gift subs, though. Jaime gifted a sub to Cloudless and gifted one to It's Actually T, who is in here now. So thank you on behalf of It's Actually T to Jaime for the gifted sub. Thank you, Jaime. I really appreciate that. You're like the gift emperor at this point. Hey, what's up, Nicholas? Welcome. I love him, says Aang. That's him, says Titanium Jones. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know whose question this is for. I couldn't draw Garfield from memory either. But that's what I mean, Umbe. I mean, I don't know what Garfield looks like if I close my eyes and I go, I can't see him. If somebody showed me a picture of Garfield, I would say yes. But the problem was everybody's image of Garfield at this party was like kind of different. And I was like, I actually don't know which one is the real one. Did Garfield have stripes? I don't know. I don't know. And they were all just like... Anyways, point is, I don't know what Garfield looks like. And at this point, I don't want to Google it. Second truck never came, huh, says Cyber. May have to reset the prediction. Wait until the end, though. It may still come. But today we're going to do song recommendation. Just let me get through this. Whoa, wait, Skirt's here? Hey, what's up, Skirt? Hey, Omni. I'm at the Honda dealership about to buy a new car. Yo, congrats. What the heck? I had no idea. I wish I was there. Wait, are you at the one by your place? Are you at that one? Are you at... Anyways, I wish I was with you. That sounds like it would have been fun for me to be... Fun thing for me to be at. But congrats, Skirt. That's wild. Oh, you're... Oh, okay. Never mind. Hollywood, the land of piss. Today's song recommendation is A Lack of Color by Death Cab for Cutie off of Transatlanticism. I told you guys I was going to bring Transatlantic back. I told you guys there was foreshadowing and I was going to bring back the circle. So, why? why this song. This is going to be a little bit of a long, or I shouldn't say long in time, but it's going to be very wordy. So just let me like speed through it. So I'm recommending this song for 3 reasons. Haven't listened to that album in ages, says Meow Workshop. Yeah, a lot of people here have not. Crap, I think they brought back an older version of World's Edge too. Oh. Oh, why are they on like retro mode? I mean, that's sick though. Cyber, that's sick. I'm down. So I'm recommending this song for 3 different reasons. A lot of people. Oh wait, you haven't seen the train? I've died on that train so many times, Cyber. In fact, they decorated like Christmas. For Christmas, they had a Christmas event where they had the train that only played Christmas music, and it had like Christmas lights on it. Okay, I'm not talking about Apex. I'm talking about today's song recommendation. It is A Lack of Color from Death Cab for Cutie from Transatlanticism. So there's 3 reasons why I'm recommending this song, and one of them is kind of long, so just hang in there for me. The first reason why I'm recommending this song is because it's a really good song. It's just a really good song. The second reason why I'm recommending this song to you guys today is because I'm going to dive a little bit into what lo-fi is. Now, Death Cab for Cutie has such a... Death Cab for Cutie had such a long discography. But around this time, around like 2001, I want to say this album came out in 2002, 3? 2002 or 3? Doesn't really matter. Time is a myth. Point is, it came out around like 2002, 2003. Thank you so much for being here, Kit. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And it kind of, I won't say it redefined lo-fi, but it made people think about what lo-fi was. If you say lo-fi to somebody today, typically they're going to think of Nujabes, they're going to think of like Jay Dilla, they're going to think of some type of beat. They're going to think of hip-hop. And there's a good reason for that. It's because lo-fi hip-hop over time just got shortened to lo-fi. But what is lo-fi? Let's actually talk about lo-fi for a second because it has a lot to do with what this song is. Lo-fi, or low-fidelity music, low-fidelity period, let me not just limit it to music, is basically, in one school of thought, the recreation of something that we can experience, whether it is through our eyes or through our ears, recreating that thing digitally, right? Like when I look out my window, I see a really beautiful, I can see the trees, I can see bees actually flying around like those little pink blossoms that you have on the tree. I can see so many things when I look out this window right now. But you guys cannot, because you guys are looking at this image, this video of outside through, a lens of a kind of a crappy webcam that's then being transferred through the internet. And then you guys are streaming it on your phone. It's being degraded. A lot of you guys are looking at this on a smaller screen, like a phone. And I've got all of this, right? It's a low fidelity video. It's a lo-fi feed. We experience things in pretty high fidelity for the most part, when we're just living our life. And electronics can only recreate kind of overly compressed or deteriorated versions of these things, and we call them lo-fi. Where lo-fi hip-hop comes in is because they're taking something that was already made and they're trying to reproduce that. They're trying to reproduce like this old jazz thing, and so things kind of sound degraded. Things sound muffled. Things sound kind of scrapey and scratchy, and it sounds like it's been deteriorated, and that's creating the lower fidelity sound. Now, a lot of times, people will actually like if you think about music and you think about art, I'm gonna stick it to music because that's what we're talking about, and that's what this is. This is music. But when you think about adding things like distortion, when you think about adding things like reverb, a lot of the effects that are put on music, we're doing it because we're trying to recreate a real space. You guys are hearing my voice right now through this microphone with reverb because my voice is going around, it's bouncing off the walls in my room and it's reaching this microphone, and you're hearing just a little bit of reverb in my voice, as opposed to if I had a microphone right up here to my lips and it was a direct feed in. You're going to hear a little bit of reverb because that's a real space thing. A lot of times in musical arrangements and compositions, people will put artificial reverb into Fruity Loops, to try to recreate that real space, to try to recreate this idea of you actually being there and hearing it live, getting some of that live sound. And during this time where Death Cab for Cutie was growing but hadn't quite reached where they are right now, there was this emphasis on very low fidelity sounds. Death Cab would honestly have some songs that were just guitar and vocals. And the guitar and the vocals were actually recorded into the same mic. Now, for some of you guys, you don't realize why this matters or why this is a big deal. But when you have a guitar playing, typically in a song, most of the songs you guys are hearing, there's tons of mics. For a drum set, there's a mic hooked up to the kick drum. There's a mic hooked up to this snare over here. There's a mic next to this hi-hat. There's a mic with somebody singing into it. There's a mic on the bass amp. There's a mic on the guitar amp. There's all these different mics so that you can control things in their own way and kind of represent a very clean, cut, organized, soft, and like almost sterile representation of the music. Now, if you go see a band live, you're not going to be able to hear a very, very well mixed version of the band. Things are going to be bouncing off of walls, and even though they can treat the room and they can have a man behind the room on a mixing board trying to keep levels right, you're still not going to hear things as crystal clear as you would in the artificial reproduction of a studio, where somebody's really EQing all of this stuff in like pre-production, and then in post-production, and then mastering it for you guys to hear on the radio. Now, a lot of early Death Cab stuff was not recorded this way. A lot of early Death Cab stuff was recorded with very few mics, and they were actually using a lot of room reverb and not artificial reverb, like a reverb plugin or a reverb pedal. They were using the reverb of a room that they were in on the vocals and on the guitar. And so when you listen to a lot of these songs, it is essentially a type of lo-fi music, especially for the time when this came out. It's a type of low-fidelity music. And I think that I want you guys to hear this because a lot of times when people say lo-fi today, like I said, it kind of gets boiled down to, oh, lo-fi study beats to chill to. And that's not what lo-fi is. Lo-fi is more of a much larger technological concept that can be applied to classical music and can be applied to jazz music. It could be applied to Death Cab for Cutie. It could be applied to a low-fidelity movie. It could be applied to an image, a picture. There are a lot of people that will draw things and then they will intentionally degrade the drawing to kind of get this rough look, even if it's digital art. That is lo-fi, guys. That is lo-fi. I had a friend who was on DeviantArt. I was talking about DeviantArt in Discord earlier, who used to draw things or take pictures and images and would just kind of like recompress the thing over and over to get this like really ugly look, this like degraded look, and then they would upload that. Even though they had a much crystal clear, like perfect, better image, higher quality image, they would upload the worst quality one because they just liked that look. This is lo-fi, guys. This is its own version of lo-fi. Now, what is the third reason? Thank you for sitting through that second reason, by the way. What is the third reason why I want you guys to listen to this song? The third reason why I want you guys to listen to A Lack of Color by Death Cab for Cutie is because another thing comes in at towards the end of the song. So the singer slash guitarist of Death Cab would often sing the guitar line. So they would have a lot of guitar chords that were voice leading, like how I do in Keyline. They would have like that, and then when they would sing over it, they would just sing the voice-led line. They could do that with the band, and that's not a thing that happens too much in music anymore, especially as ensembles get a lot bigger. But a lot of the time, it was just Ben, the front man of Death Cab, doing this on his guitar. And later in the song, an upright piano comes in. And guys, upright pianos, excuse me, I'm just going to take off one layer. It is getting a little warm. But they had an upright piano come in. And this is more so to touch on somebody else who was talking about piano earlier in the stream. Now, upright pianos, for those of you that have them or those of you that have played on them, it's very rare to play on an upright piano that is actually tuned properly. Upright pianos fall out of tune a little bit easier, actually, than baby grands do. And that's why typically when you go into a place that has a baby grand, this is also because of like money invested in it, but if you typically go to a place that has a baby grand, it'll sound fine, kind of like this. But if you go to a place that has an upright piano, there's going to be a slight detuning and a little warbling of the keys. And this was for a very long time, guys, considered and realized and recognized as a bad thing. You know, it's like your guitar falling out of tune, or it's like your voice cracking when you're trying to sing. People didn't want to hear that, and you would do everything in your power to prevent that from happening during a live performance. But around the time of lo-fi taking off, that was actually a desired effect. And it was because so often when people played upright pianos live, were they poorly maintained because they fall out of tune, again, guys, so quickly, that 9 times out of 10, when you're listening to somebody play a upright piano live, you're going to hear a little bit, even if it's just minute, you'll hear a little bit of warbling, and you'll hear a little bit of like keys that are just a little bit out of tune. And so we have kind of just associated this with that instrument. They're like, that's the sound of an upright piano. It just kind of sounds a little warbly sometimes. And so when people would record albums, instead of having a perfectly tuned piano to be into the back of it, sometimes people would use a slightly detuned upright piano, because for a lot of listeners, it was kind of this sonic, like this audio language of like, this is live. You are in a place listening to somebody play on an upright piano. They would just have a little microphone hovering inside of the cavity of the upright piano, and they would record these like detuned things. And so when you listen to this song, A Lack of Color, and the piano comes in, it does have this very live feel, because why would somebody put a detuned piano in a recorded track? This is a detuned piano because I'm listening to it live and they just couldn't tune it in time, and it was falling out of tune, as upright pianos tend to do. It's a very weird thing that constantly goes back and forth, I felt, in art, where people are trying to have things so sterile, like Zed, like if you heard a Zed song, so sterile to the point where it sounds like it was made by a computer, or people doing extra work to make things sound, you know, flawed and undoctored and live and real and vulnerable. And I feel like Death Cab for Cutie always errs on the side of the more vulnerable, live adjacent, unpolished, low fidelity sound. And so those are the 3 reasons why I want you guys to listen to this song. 1, it's a really, really good song. 2, it's a really good example of lo-fi music that isn't just lo-fi hip-hop, which is what most people kind of jump to today. And 3, the upright piano being used in it for effect of that live feel, as opposed to just... Because Ben... This band was pretty big at the time already. They could afford a good piano. This was a choice to use this upright detuned piano. So... there you go. The song again is A Lack of Color by Death Cab for Cutie off of the album Transatlanticism. You can go check that out on the Spotify playlist that Cyber has linked a little bit earlier and has just linked again. I'm going to catch up really, really quickly on chat before I move on to other news. I actually really love it because each piano sounds even more unique that way, says Lindsay, talking about those kind of like upright detuned pianos. I agree with this. Gives it a little bit more character. Meow Workshop says, totally agree. There is something special about the timbre of an upright piano neglected in the back of a theater. That's the image I get anyway, says Meow Workshop. You're proving my point. The fact that it even conjures up an image, that's the thing, Meow Workshop. A kind of dusty, out-of-tune upright piano conjures imagery and emotion. I won't say better, but definitely unique to its own sound, as opposed to somebody playing like a perfectly tuned grand Steinway in an auditorium. It has a different feel. And I think that both suit a very specific vibe, and it's not a coincidence that Ben went for the upright piano and this one. Whew! You are the piece of meat I wish I didn't eat, says Cyber. Facing reality. That's a reference. The first part is a reference that I do like. I do appreciate. I'm gonna open this window. Get a little bit of breeze going. That feels marvelous. Yeah, that's good. That's what we needed. Jesus. Sweating my booty off in here. Okay, and that was a good explanation of lo-fi. Can't believe I've finally become a lo-fi artist, though. How the tables turn. Amen, Umbe. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I felt that same way when Lush Stream came out. I was like, have I become the monster? Have I become the monster I so hated before? In other news, I do have Signals that has come out. I have Tall Tales, which is out. I have House of Omni, which is released. I have Nice Dream, Love Dream, Speed Dream, Daydream, Lush Dream, which is considered lo-fi. Quick Breath and Ego Death can all be found on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Groove, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. Thank you, Mustache, for noticing the little booba dance. Yeah, I like seeing booba in the breeze a little bit. Drafty areas and like breezes are not actually supposed to be very good for Ellis, so I hope that booba's shielding her from all of the coming wind. Also, guys, last Saturday morning medley movie night did not happen. Just wanted to remind everybody that it has been pushed to this weekend. I do have something I have to do this weekend too, but it's on Sunday, so I will be home for the movie. The movie, so we will still be able to watch it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys sticking around because we have postponed it 2 weeks in a row now because of a birthday and because I don't remember what the first weekend was. Not surprised we're still here, says Dar. Yeah, we ran a little bit after. It took a little bit long with the song recommendation, but there was just a few things that I really wanted to get through. Also, I was more comfortable with taking a little bit of time with the song recommendation because I was waiting for the second garbage truck. But I may have to just refund everybody's points for the prediction because I mean the second dude. I feel like a second I end this stream, the second dude's gonna come, but I don't want everybody to just sit here waiting for the second garbage truck. They are very late today. It's funny, though, because everything worked perfectly the first week of Trash Tuesday. Everything was fine. They've been returned, says Cyber. Thank you, Cyber. Everything worked great, and so I'm really glad that things were so amazing the first week of Trash Tuesday, because it was this wild for the first one. I would have felt so bad for debuting a new segment that was riddled with issues. Technically, it was 0 beeps. I don't know, says Jaime, who would like their money. Give me my tokens. Lindsay says, I never really thought about lo-fi in that way. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about genre labels, so the song rec explanation was enlightening. Yeah, I think that, I mean, we can talk about it later. We can maybe make a whole stream about, or a whole news thing about fidelity and what is considered low fidelity and what is considered high fidelity, because I think basically, I'll say this and then we can start closing up. I think that a lot of recreation of art, a lot of art is directly compared to life, right? If somebody paints an image, you think about, oh, that's a tree. I've seen a tree before. How does this compare to the tree? Now I'm going to name it / consume it in relation to how I name / consume a real tree in real life. If you hear something in a keyboard that sounds kind of like a guitar, you go like, nah, that's a guitar sound, but it's not a very good one because you have something to compare it to, especially before art starts getting too before it starts getting too abstract. And I think movies and things like we see people and we're like, I know people. Nobody's ever behaved to me like Vin Diesel is behaving in this film, so I don't know that this is so believable to me. Like, we compare things to real life. And I think that life is the benchmark for fidelity. And so when things seem to fall short of it, we consider it low fidelity. And when things get close to it, we consider it high fidelity. But nothing can ever reach or surpass fidelity or reality in a lot of cases. And so I think that low fidelity is this really weird, it's an elusive term. We kind of just throw lo-fi on things. It's kind of like how we throw HD on things. Like, I don't know what the benchmark when something turns into... whatever. Anyways, Dar says, well, now you have to end as quickly as possible. Yes, I will be closing things up here. Already done the announcements for music and for a morning medley movie night. That will be this Saturday. I would like it if we could raid into soup, but if somebody has any, like, something else or another person that they feel like would benefit from the raid more, I'm always down. I'm always down. Because we've raided into soup twice, I think. It's actually T says, this was a lovely stream. Thank you for streaming. Thank you, It's actually T, for being here. You're always so nice. I do appreciate that. I'm going to start playing the theme song now. Thank you, Mustache. Thank you, Yawning Kitten. You guys were such a pleasure. And this weather is so beautiful. Cyber says, oh crap, his soup's not streaming? Did we say? Oh. Thanks, Nicholas. Yeah, it's soups today. Sorry. I probably should have made sure. We had it locked and loaded. But, yeah, thank you everybody, as always, for being respectful to me and polite to each other. And for the new people that came in, Rizlo Official, if you're still in here, Jensen King, if you're still here, Polly, if you're still here, there's a few other ones even. Wow, that is a wild scroll. Thank you, Yeti.com again for the bits, if you're still here and can hear me. WTF, Mike, thank you all. Thank you, Dainty Sunflower, Isabel. Really appreciate you guys for being both new and positive. You guys have brought dope energy. Who would have known? But we're going to go Rage Soups now, who I appreciate a lot, who is also very, very nice and also has a very positive, supportive, friendly community. So I hope to see you there. I will be watching from my phone as I go retrieve some pizza. Enjoy the rest of your guys' Tuesday, everyone. Abo.